What is up, y'all? It's your girl, brand new, and honey, I am back in the building. This time, honey, I'm back with a love and marriage Huntsville extra, honey. You know, this is the show that doesn't end, and it goes on and on, my friends, okay? And today, honey, Miss Robinson will be reading the comments from the Love and Marriage Huntsville Facebook group, because honey, it goes down, honey, in this group. So without further ado, I'm going to read some of the comments, honey, and Miss Robinson will be in and out with her commentary. All right, so one person says, did I miss something? Why does Marsau think that Sheree is an upgrade from Melody? Honey, if you ask Miss Robinson, Melody is better than Sheree, because Sheree is phony, felonious. You know, she looked good. You know, this is kind of the best Sheree has ever looked, honey, on Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you go back to that first season, ooh, honey, okay, the struggle was real, honey. Sheree just was not that girl, okay? She was real slim and boring and mean and uptight and snapping on folks. But now, you know, Sheree got a little swag about herself, but she is not like Melody to me, you guys. Melody, in my opinion, I'm sorry. She looked better. She just do. She's prettier to look at. She looked better with Martell. Melody represents certainty. We know if Melody puts a business out, she's going to put her all into it. She ain't gonna be promising shit and then the shit don't turn out. With Sheree, it's like that, you know, because Sheree, honey, from the first floor, Sheree has a lot of opulent taste. Like, Sheree is very much so high maintenance, but it just looks like it's an act. Right? Like one of them women where, you know, oh, everything has to be so lavish and this, that, and the third. Like with Chateau Sheree, it's like, who the hell gave you the money, heifer, you know, to decorate that house? Okay? Was it Tyrone? Because we know your ass has not been on the Housewives, you know, all these seasons, honey. So somebody, you know, put in with the house. But one thing I will give Sheree is she did the damn thing, you guys, with that house. That mother Tucker is bad, honey. Okay? Brother Tucker. That's gonna be the new MF word, you guys. Shout out to Heavenly, honey, from Married to Medicine. I love how she says that. But yeah, Sheree did it, honey, with that house. I would spend the night, or shit, every night of the week, honey, at Chateau Sheree. I would, honey, okay? You have to ask Miss Robinson to leave. You know what Sheree do? She should rent out some of that damn house. Oh, yeah, that'll bring some money in. Well, I don't know. That may attract some freeloaders, honey. Okay, we already see Hookhead is freeload dance. He probably can't wait to get up in there. What y'all tell Miss Robinson? They done broke up already. That's what people on the first floor do. They just be kicking it, clout chasing off of each other, honey. We see each other. That's what they do, honey, down to that first floor. I can't make it up. Let's see what else the people are saying about that. Mel was planning to move to Atlanta to become a housewife of Atlanta. That's my guess. No. Oh, somebody else said, that's what I said. She buys shit. Ray don't pay her bills. Ooh, child, stop dragging that Sheree. She trying to do a little better. Did anybody purchase some She by Sheree or She by Shin? Is it Shin or Sheen? Let's look at what the people are saying. But Sheree, no, she is being a mess. Even Mel can launch a product in a store. Sheree is more famous, but that upgrade only applied to the baby mama. They talking about Ariane, honey. Okay. Another person says, the eyes of the people who can see. I get this group is not filled with male fans, but be serious. If you can't launch a brand, that kids who have heard of this show since they were toddlers want to buy just to support her, there is a problem. Yes, it is, honey. And another person says, given the same platform today, Melody wins, hands up. Yeah, Melody is about that life. And I think that's because of Miss Vanessa. She had such a strong upbringing with her mom. Her mother dibbles and dabbles with, 6 figures, honey, all the time, honey. Okay, Miss Vanessa, honey, is on the money team. Okay, she is where the money reside, honey. Okay, show you right. Another person says Marsau was just trying to get under Melody's skin. Sheree is a has-been. She does not have the brain, intelligence, nor integrity Melody has. That's true. Because Sheree looked like, honey, she's a schemer. She's a scammer. Y'all know she's been arrested for stealing and shit back in the past, honey. Okay. So, yeah. And then look at who she dated. Tyrone. That man in prison. You a nice looking woman, Sheree. That's all you could get. But, I guess she liked him. But Tyrone, he talked okay, I guess. But I don't know. I couldn't be bothered with somebody from prison. Nope. Because when they in prison, honey, they nice. And then when they get out, they they act like they don't know you, honey. They back home, honey. They in their comfort zone, honey. Tyrone, honey, probably had him some other women, honey, that Sheree didn't know about. Child, they dragging Sheree. Sheree ain't nothing special. Sheree's house is in her mama name. Ain't that what Kenya told us? Shout out to Kenya Moore. Mel's house isn't in Miss Vanessa's name. Word on the curb is Sheree don't pay her tabs. Yeah, they got on her, at that reunion, honey. Andy called her out. She don't pay her bills. Even Kenya had to tell her, girl, even if you don't like the service, you still gotta pay. But y'all know that damn Sheree, she don't give a damn. She gave them people that she by Sheree, honey, at that reunion, and then had to confiscate it. I was like, well, damn. That ain't good. Okay, that remind me of that time my mama gave me that $20 for Christmas and borrowed it in the same night. Girl, I'll pay you back in the middle of the week. I never got my money. But, honey, there is that. That was so ghetto of my mom. I brought it up to her one time, and she was like, girl, I done gave you plenty of money since then. And I guess that's right, so... But yeah, you don't do that to a kid. Come on now. Another person says, I thought he was talking about Sheree was an upgrade from Coleslaw. Yeah, of course she's an upgrade from Ariana, because Ariana's not on Bravo, and it's not really the network, really. It's just like her tone, her demeanor. She's just very ghetto, very limited, very first floor. She's finally making money off of being a side chick, because before it was, I'm not a hoe. Why they talking about me? Because you slept with somebody's husband, girl. Goddamn, are you slow, deaf, hard of hearing? Okay, you got an earwax built up. Like, goddamn, why you don't know why them people don't like you? But ain't always talking about me. If you wasn't sleeping with the lady husband, like, she just was acting, well, she wasn't acting shit. She just delusional, and she's a big ass puddle of confusion, honey. Okay, and guess what Miss Robinson said? God is not the author of confusion. Ariana is. Okay. So, child, it looked like Melody got a hold to Letitia's fakery, honey. Because y'all know Miss Codependent. She ain't got her own brain. She been talking mad shiggity, honey. Okay, yes, up in her confessional saying that Mel do a good job of making it look like she changed when really she haven't, and she really good at fooling herself. Y'all know she was saying that. Then on this last episode, honey, didn't want Marsau to meet with Melody. So jealous, so bothered, honey. I don't care what none of y'all say. This girl is jealous. She's insecure. I see what some of y'all are saying. Y'all saying, you know, she's just insecure, period. It's not just about Mel. I agree with that too. But it's something with Melody, you guys, that really angers Tisha. Okay? And even more so than Destiny. It's like this sting. Like, I don't know. I feel like, and I know all about it because I told y'all I lived it. I've been around women with the spirit of insecurity. You know, they're just jealous that they are not confident like you and able to move and shake and make their own decisions. But yeah, Melody says about Tisha, child, the fakeness is real. Y'all caught that right. All up in my family vacation, asking questions, playing games, laughing. But meanwhile, Love and Marriage Huntsville, you could have easily told production, no, we ain't going to interrupt their family vacay. Exactly. Let's see what the people have to say about that. Totally agree. In my opinion, they both understand they don't fool with each other, but can be cordial when need be. Tisha is working for her check just like Mel. What does that have to do with it? Another person says, now when a response is given, she's going to act like she's being attacked on social media. Are you talking about Mel? Another person says, I think she thrives off of that. On last night's episode, she said she was a responder and not an initiator. Child, I forgot that these people don't like Mel. I don't like when people don't like people to the point where they are not objective. They can't be fair. Damn. I think Melody has every right to say that, guys. She got every right to feel that way about Tisha, because Tisha been talking mad stuff in that confessional. Mad stuff. Okay, so somebody responds to Melody's post and says she keeps the bitterness and mess going and it's exhausting. You talking about Tisha or Mel? Another person says they are paid to go to keep the drama going. In my opinion, the show must have drama to keep the viewers' attention. It's sad because Mel don't ever see how she is with people, but love to point out faults in everybody else around her. What the hell show is y'all watching? This is literally one of the times Mel has every right to feel a freaking way about Tisha. Like, make it make sense. It's not making no sense, honey. The math is not mathing, okay? Okay, so the people is dragging Mel, honey, about this post. I'm like, she's well within her right. Guys, y'all not being fair. One person says, Mel sound crazy. Why should anyone respectfully cut their bag short for her? But didn't she go to Destiny's event uninvited? She could have told production the same thing. Another person agrees with that and says, yes, she sure did say that. Another person says she could have turned down the meeting with Marsau and the event at Madani, but she didn't. That's different because she knew she had to confront Wanda and Wanda was going to be up there. I think that Madani event, it was a public event, and I believe production told all they asked to go up there. Okay, I really believe it. Another person says, yes, Melody's post is giving, I know I'm being messy and hypocritical. She's just as much as narcissistic and gaslighting as Martell was to her at the onset of their fights on camera. What? Another person says she was being fake as well, but the production crew probably had them do it, so no, Tisha and them could have said no. It seemed like Marsau was like, yeah, I can't wait to go, because you know he got a crush on Melody anyways. Okay, I'm just saying, I know some of y'all rolling your eyes, sucking your damn teeth, but the truth is the truth. And the truth needs no proof. How you doing? Another person says, I don't call it being fake on either side. I consider it being cordial because they have a job to do, but it's coming off as fake. If it's coming off to fake to anyone, then both have to be perceived in that way. That don't make no sense. Another person says she's a walking contradiction. Another person says, see, this is why her and her mother is always getting blasted. Goddamn, I didn't know I was going to be reading the comments and y'all going in on Melody like this. Like, come on now. She the victim now. Come on. Okay? Learn to shut your mouth instead of trying to be a victim all the time and be the center of attention. Another person comments and says, people always saying the Scotts be on social media and she be responding though. Tell me where you've seen the Scotts post anything about the show after last night's episode. Another person says she knew they was coming, so she could have used her own advice and told production no too. She didn't know he told her ass at the last minute like a narcissist would, honey. And they do stuff like that. That way you can't cancel or it'll look rude on your part. It'll look like, because remember when the Scotts got there, he was like, yeah, Melody didn't even want y'all to be here really. He said something along those lines. Yeah, that's what they do. My mother did that type of shit to me. So I know how these people do, honey. Another person says, wait, let's not forget how she and Tisha had Tisha removed for being uninvited. Why y'all still talking about that old ass shit from season 2? Like, come on now. Another person says, I'm wondering what happened with the agreement to not talk about each other on social media. When they come back at her, then she'll be playing victim as she always does. She is so doggone messy. Goddamn, does anybody in this damn group like Melody? Because, honey, this is coming off one-sided, honey. Miss Robinson needs, a little bit of balance, okay? Like that. For real, guys. I didn't know they was going to be dragging that girl like this. But, damn, I don't see not one comment in Melody's favor. Another person says, but she didn't mind questioning Miss Marlene on the family vacation. Another person says that Mel was playing nice. I would have too because of the children. And Martell did invite them. It's not fake at all. They have to work together. Exactly. She was cordial to them. Another person says, and she could have told production that she didn't want to film with them while on vacation that she claimed she paid for. Another person says it's a TV show, it's scripted, they're all getting paid, it's all perspective. So, child. Another person says she could have did the same with the production and for Destiny's reopening too. Why didn't she tell production that she's not having them interrupt her vacation or that she's not going to Destiny's reopening? Like I said before, that's different. Another person says, what is Tisha and Marsau's storyline these days? Oh, it's always Melody. Oh, finally a Melody supporter. Well, damn. Finally. Honey, we should just clap it up, honey. One person says, I was ready to tell Marsau off for the way he was talking to Tisha. If your spouse has feelings on a matter, they are valid, and he expects her to do the same. Calling her jealous and nothing she plans works is psychological abuse to make her feel less than, and he questions her feelings that she has about herself. Everything he does and says is deliberate. I used to like him, but he is a real a-hole. No woman should come before your wife. Tisha is making moves in her mind and planning for the getaway, probably when the kids are older. So somebody feels like Tisha, honey, is, trying to be strategic, honey, with these 16 years, okay? How do I feel about that? I felt like I said, I kind of felt like Marsau was kind of fair in the episode. I do disagree with how he spoke to Tisha about how what he does is always right and what Tisha does, it ain't ever right. That is abuse. It's disrespect. But what else is new? Like, I hope y'all not looking at this past episode like that's new. He's been disrespecting her. I've been telling everybody, but everybody said Miss Robinson was hating, honey. Okay, hell, this was one of the milder episodes in my opinion. Okay, so yeah, it's not right, but it ain't just Marsau's fault. Tisha puts up with it. She puts up with it, and it's my husband. Okay, don't talk about my husband, my man, my food, my mama. Okay, she be on her candy burrs. Okay. Oh, another person says, honey, I fast forward through Melody. Oh, another person says, I was ready to tell both Melody and Marsau off. Okay. So another person says, Tisha sounds so jealous to me. A person comments below that and says she seems to be standing her ground. He should have let her know that he wanted to have a conversation with Melody. He should have been the first. She should have been the first to know, then his wife. Even before Mark and Maurice knew for sure, even though they decided it be necessary together. His next move should have been, let me talk to my wife first and I will get back to you. Then his wife should be the next person he spoke to about it. Then made a decision to text and invite her. Simple respect, especially when there are rumors. Simple respect, not let me run this, no matter if she is thought to be jealous or not. Her feelings come first. That being said, Marsau seems to be doing better in how he treats her. He was moving in and out of that mode. He walked away rudely. No, he didn't walk away rudely. He was sick of her bullshiggity. I told y'all, Tisha is exhausting. Because Tisha is, and that's why Kimmy and her used to go head to head a lot, because Kimmy saw that Tisha was too much work to manage. Tisha says one thing and does another. She'll say, yeah, we cordial. Yeah, I could be cool. Why Melody didn't huff and puff and act a fool the way Tisha did when Martell told her that Marsau and Tisha was going to be stopping by in Destin? Why didn't Melody act like that? Because she's a confident woman. She didn't want their ass there. But hell, she smiled. She was cordial. She even, laughed at some of their jokes. She was a good sport. No, not Tisha. Tisha needs all of this support. Tisha feels backstabbed, betrayed. She called me her enemy. If you felt that damn strongly about you still being her enemy, you shouldn't have stopped by in Destin. Okay, like, she's such a codependent. It's like this victim mode. Like, I want everybody to do what I want them to do. The minute they don't, they must have it out for me. I'm not jealous of anybody. Like the way she got the cursing at Marsau, because he was like, you looking like jealous, like you insecure. And she did come off like that. Okay? So, honey, another person says it was a pointless conversation with some of the ladies in this group because they are all about bashing Mel, and sometimes I feel we are not watching the same show. Come on, yes. Tisha has always been jealous and insecure. Those who don't like my comment, don't tag me asking for explanations or examples. Exactly, because that last episode told y'all as what it was, okay? And what's understood don't need to be explained. I know that's right, girl. Yes. Yes. Give her. Yes. 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 Give that lady a big old nasty hand clap, honey. Yes. Come on. Yes. 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 Ooh, yes. You preached the word, girl. Ooh, child. Look, Miss Robinson need to take a pause because that was good. She spoke a word. She spoke a word. I've been telling y'all Tisha is jealous for a while, and it's like y'all like, nah, she just don't like Mel, and Mel's not a good person. Y'all try to make it be about Melody, honey. What do I know? Okay. Child, why somebody put in a new post, Mel wanted to move to ATL and wanted a spot on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Facts. Marty Mars swooped right on in and landed a spot on the show and a bay. This man playing chess. I wonder if God told Martell to go. They trying to make fun of Melody and that God said go. Child, one person comments to that and says that's not true. After the divorce, Mel wanted to move to Atlanta for the music and acting business and help further her career as a singer and actress. This is why Martell said no, she couldn't move. Yeah, he always wants to hold her hostage from her dreams. And men do that, especially bitter, narcissistic men, ladies. Another person says Martell needs a woman so he can make money. Mel held the license and now Sheree holds the clout. Martell is smart but needs someone to push him. Yes, he needs supply all the time. I told y'all, these narcissists, they are like big ass toddlers that need a damn pacifier in their mouth or a bottle in their mouth at all times of the day. Why do you think he had that affair with Ariana for all them years? Why? Because he need attention. And her ass trying to get some type of, ego about it. Oh, her man want me and I'm special. Meanwhile, he still didn't make you his girlfriend, honey. Still didn't make you his wife. Y'all still don't live together. Make it make sense. I like them together because Sheree is an upgrade from Coleslaw. I hope he has learned from past mistakes. He ain't learned shit. Y'all better quit that shit and get on the good foot. Okay, get on the good foot. Oh, child, I then saw another post, honey. It just may take Miss Robinson's breath away. Somebody says, a woman, let me be clear, ain't nobody perfect. If you think that Mel did nothing wrong in her marriage, then you are sadly mistaken. We all could do things different or better in situations. What? Child. Another person comments beneath that and says, men like peace. I can imagine her mouth, mean girl antics, sense of entitlement, and narcissistic ways of being may have played their part. Martell was no angel, but Mel was something else. Child, only in this group do these women, they be caping for Martell. It's like, what type of men is y'all with? Okay. Another person says, Mama Holt said it best, not her drunk ass. She was spoiled. Oh yeah, she was spoiled all right in that burning house with a man that's screwing a squirrel face heifer. Okay? Child, y'all better quit. I'm just glad that their marriage is over and they all need peace. Girl, you need to quit. Y'all need to quit with these type of comments, honey. Got Miss Robinson's pressure all up. It's too early, honey, in the morning for this. Okay, another person says, I don't know what she did right or wrong in her marriage. I don't know her at all, but based on what is filmed, she is bitter, entitled, a mean girl with no friends or meaningful relationships outside of her mom. Another person says it takes two people to make a marriage work. Like Martell said, he looks at himself and what he was doing as a husband to make Mel stop being intimate with him. Y'all need to learn how to write these damn sentences. God damn, y'all too old for this, okay? Get in somebody's summer school, honey. How you doing? He should have had a conversation with his wife before he went out and cheated. That's right. Another person says no marriage is perfect due to no one being perfect. However, cheating is never a solution to resolve problems. I agree. Never. Cheating only causes additional problems on top of the ones already there and exacerbates those problems. Yeah. I agree, honey. Another person comments to that and says, what did Mel do wrong? She had kids back to back, work, was a wife, plus other activities. What? Was she too tired to give him head? Sleepy, house messy sometimes? I'm trying to understand how that made it okay for Martell to have a 7-year-long relationship. Exactly. Ain't no excuse for that type of bullshit. Okay, no excuse for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Another person makes a post and says, can someone help me understand the point of the Mel and Marsau meeting? Wasn't even worth him getting into an argument with his wife. I must be missing something. One person comments and says he wanted to let Mel know that his brother was going to continue to come after her and her mother. Also to let her know it's not him, it's his brother. That he tried to speak to his brother. Why did you talking about call off his brother? tried to speak to his brother, and please don't air out his business because of something his brother did. Oh, y'all talking about Mel called Marsau out at that reunion, and he didn't want her to do that, but she did that. Yeah, I felt like, yeah, maybe it's a little bit more to that. Then some of y'all mentioned that Miss Van had went legal with the situation and wasn't trying to talk about it. But I still kind of felt like Melody should have been like, well, my mom is going to handle that situation with Mark in a different way, so I'm not going to speak on it. At least let the audience know what's going on, because everybody ain't watching these interviews with Miss Van that maybe I've covered. Everybody, and I still want to know a little bit more about Miss Van and Mark's like real relationship. I think that Miss Van has an interview coming up with Color Me Pink. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for that, because I think Color Me Pink is going to be asking a lot of the questions that, you know, the fans of the show, they want to know. We need clarity on what happened with Van and Mark. You know, I believe, you know, they dated and, you know, honey, she embarrassed by it, don't want to claim that fool. I don't blame her. Shit. Because look at him. Look at how he acts. Okay, from the first floor. Okay, but I still need some clarity. Another person says, that's a good question, especially because Melody wasn't participating. She answered no questions, kept getting smart with him and asking him questions. I didn't get the part about him warning her. Another person says it really wasn't. He could have done that via text with Tisha present. So basically a lot of these people are saying that Marsau shouldn't have met up with Melody. Why do y'all think he really met up with her? Like I said, honey, when a man got a crush on a woman, he'll make up any excuse, honey. Don't Miss Robinson know I done had a few fools try to make up an excuse to, you know, be alone with Miss Robinson, honey. I get it, honey, but nope. Another person says, I believe Marsau wants to keep everything out in the open since the meeting went well, and I think everyone's on the same page and they're going to respect each other's feelings and space, which is a good thing for everyone. I agree with that. I agree with that. Another person says he was trying to tell Mel that his brother refused to stop talking about her mother on social media. She stopped him when he brought up her mother. Said she didn't want to talk about it. I think he was trying to stand by their agreement of the social media agreement they all made with each other. Their brother said F them, he ain't included. If Mel would have been more receptive, he would have explained things better. Another person says that could have been on the text instead of, you know, them meeting in person. Not really. Yeah, not really. I think we're saying that because it didn't play out the way we wanted it to, but I think he was trying to have everything out in the open. He wanted it filmed. He wanted everything on record. I don't know. Time will tell, you know, as to his real intentions, honey. Because now it's looking a little weird. Especially since Melody was down to the reunion, honey, calling him out for cheating in the next room. Okay. Okay, so another person comments and says, maybe I missed the part that stated he isn't a grown man. Yes, he's married, but Tisha and her back and forth logic on trust is the problem here. One minute she's shouting to the world she doesn't have trust issues. The next minute she crying foul because he meeting with a woman and didn't discuss the encounter first with her. Pick a team, Tisha. You can't have it both ways. Thank you. Bloop, bloop. I agree, honey. It was just Mel. Y'all been around Mel all these years. Okay. She also, though, she had an issue with Marsau meeting up with Mel to what? Give her some of their champagne. That way she could be a brand ambassador. If y'all remember that episode, she was, you know. Oh, I didn't know What she say? I didn't know you met up with Mel. I didn't know you did that behind my back. I'm not stupid. Honey, okay. Child, one person says it would have been worth it if Melody didn't act like she usually does. Plus, I would be concerned if someone planned to badmouth my mother, but Melody only cares about herself, I guess. I was like, oh, child, look at y'all. Another person says forced interaction amongst favorite cast members. Marsau makes good for TV. Mel is a fan favorite, and he's usually able to agitate her for a reaction. I'm sure production assumed that the scene would be much more entertaining than it turned out to be, but it was a waste of filming, honey. Yeah, it could have been better. I wish Miss Van would have been on there. I wish we would have gotten more clarity on things. You know, people are commenting on Kimmy ringing the bell, you know, because she's, I believe, done with the chemo. One person says, yes, Kimmy, ring that bell, girl. God is good. And all the time. See what faith does. It gives us the strength to fight back that evil demon called cancer. I know we don't know each other, girl, but I know your story, and I'm so happy for you. I'm happy for Kimmy, too, because it had to be, you know, a grueling experience and process, right? Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Like, I'm pretty sure it was a lot. Another person says Tisha is right. I would have been upset, too, with Marsau inviting Mel up to BLAQUE anywhere, knowing she said on national TV that Tisha is her enemy and do not care to be around her. And I felt Tisha on that because I would have gave my husband the business, because why you keep bringing up her name around me if I'm her enemy? Because he liked Melody, okay? He liked Melody, and Marsau knows that Tisha is being annoying. She's purposely being difficult. She's coming off as insecure. She's saying one thing and doing another. That's why I told you I don't really see it for Tisha like that, because she do these interviews and she's a completely different person in the interview. Then on the show, we see her crying and whining about her marriage. Then down to the reunion, put some respect on my marriage. It's like this damn merry-go-round that just never stops, okay? Another person says Martell left his other baby mama for a reality star that lives in a mansion. The come up is real, honey, okay? Another person says Sheree is the weakest link on Housewives of Atlanta. She needs to learn how to articulate her words, get that business up and running. She ain't got nothing on Melody Sheree. Another person says, I believe Marsau is keeping Mel close because she knows his secrets. Yeah. And a person comments and says, I think it's going to come out too because they keep poking the bear. Mel said that she's going to eventually say what she's been trying to say to Tisha without outright telling her. Marsau is not going to threaten Mel the way he did Tisha's cousin. Yeah, because it was Kiki, you know, trying to help, you know, say a little something, okay? Another person makes a post and says, Mel is so upset Martell has moved on with She by Sheree. Now she's faking fallouts. It's not that serious that he told Ariane that you had COVID. Girl, bye. Miss me with that fake news. Ooh. Another person comments and says she may be feeling some kind of way. They were married for a long time and she gave him children. She is beautiful. She'll be okay. Kind of hard having it played out publicly. Another person says, absolutely. She probably would have wanted to know if Ariane had it as well, since they too may be exposed. That's what happens when you have to deal with an entanglement. Ooh. He didn't have to tell that girl her medical business. Like, that girl is obsessed with Melody. That was another way for him to start up drama, for him to triangulate. Narcissists are known for that. They are known for trying to get you to have some type of relationship with their ex-wife, with their baby mama. I've had people pull that with me, and look, I said no, okay? Not God said go, but I say no. I am not kicking it, talking to nobody from the first floor because of no man or because of no child. If I do it, it's because I feel like you are a good person. You ain't gonna be driving Miss Robinson crazy. You're not ghetto. You're not rude. Okay, you're not ignorant. Okay, like, Another person comments and says he told Coleslaw that Mel got mad because he called her Coleslaw name. Though Mel is upset because he betrayed her trust by telling Coleslaw that she was sick, and then Coleslaw goes and broadcasts that on social media. I remember that. Yep. I'm quite sure that anyone would be upset if information is shared about them on social media without their consent. I agree. I agree. Another person says Mel don't care about Martell and Sheree because trust and believe. If she wants him back, she can get him. But it wasn't the baby mama business to tell she had COVID. Baby mama been messy since day one. Yeah, she been messy and competitive. She's very annoying because she thinks she's on Melody's level. She thinks she's better than Melody. She tried to copy Mel's mannerisms. You know, her mannerisms. She fails miserably, honey, every time. She one of them parents that just kind of get her kids candy so they would shut up and be quiet and get out the way. Okay, so yeah, she just child. It's always the heifers, honey, on the first floor, always reaching for that top floor, that top level position. Men don't see it like that because they like, well, y'all all on the same level and y'all all been with me. Lies you tell, motherfucker. I done had some people try to pull that bullshiggity with Miss Robinson, honey. We ain't on nobody level. Okay, we got our own level. Another person says, I don't think she is upset about Sheree. It probably isn't even about him discussing her with old girl. I think it's because he tried to take custody of her children from her. Another person says, I thought that they had been past that. Another person says, no, they were just going through that recently. Yeah, that got a lot to do with things too. That makes it even more messier. Honey, there's another post where the people say Marsau wants Melody bad. Another person comments and says that man watches the show. He knows how Mel is. Trust me, he has the wife he desired to have a family and build a life. It ain't Mel. Shit. Lies you tell, honey. He tried to have a date day with his wife at they place of business and then told her another woman coming up there and told her ass at the last minute. Okay? So you put two and two together. Okay? Another person says, I guess next you will say that's why Mel won't give the name of the person Marsau so-called cheated with. Maybe it's her. Marsau doesn't want Mel and she is not attracted to Marsau because she doesn't like his gender role mentality. Number two, she has never even given off that sort of vibe, and it's easy to tell if someone likes another. I can tell that Marsau finds Melody captivating. You can just tell when he's around her. He knows he has to step his first floor game up, okay? He knows that much. Another person says, did y'all see how he looked at her when they were at the vacation house? She had on that green hat and walked over towards Tisha and Marsau. He looked behind Tisha to see Mel. I rewound it and he sure did. Another person says, I agree, I saw that too. Another person says, a man is going to look at a beautiful woman. That's what they do best. But if they stare too long, that's when something should be said. Child, he always staring at her. Okay? He is always looking at her like he wanna, lick her up and down, honey, like an ice cream cone, honey. I see it. I see it. Y'all better quit with he married to Tisha. When has that stopped these niggas before? Okay, these niggas on this show, they don't even tell their wife stuff at the right time. They tell her after the shit happened or after they done made the decision or at the last minute. Another person says, please stop spreading malicious rumors. Martell started the rumor that Melody and Marsau had a relationship outside of their friendship. Neither of them have any interest in each other. It's not that they both have interest in each other, but I do think Marsau has a crush. I do, honey. I noticed you have to pay attention to people's body language, not just their words. Like how they be smiling and looking at the person and licking their lips, honey. Honey. I know. Another person says, I like Tisha, but she really needs to work on forgiveness. One minute she acts like she's over things, and the next thing you know, she's upset again. This flip-flopping is a little immature. Say what you want, but Marsau really knows how to handle her. I'm in awe of how he communicates with her to keep her calm. Yeah, my words exactly. Another person comments to that and says, Marsau underhandedly bullies his wife. Tisha is not stupid nor an insecure woman. In my opinion, she had every right to be pissed off with his actions. You don't invite the enemy in, and that is what he does. Mel doesn't like his wife, and she has said it out loud. Another person says, I'm with Tisha. In order to protect her peace, she can always be cordial, but that don't mean she has to be friends again or hanging around each other outside of filming. Another person says, it's weird to me that Tisha doesn't remember dropping in on the Holtz family vacation and prying and asking Mel questions. She pretended with Mel, and I thought it was growth for the both of them. Yeah, but now you see it's a big act. I told y'all. Another person says, well, they both pretend and they both say the same thing when they aren't in each other's face. Stop the one-sided mess. Tisha accompanied her husband, who Martell invited. That's simple. Let's not act like Mel hasn't done pop-ups where she wasn't invited. Production. Child, y'all just be, ooh. Another person says, yes, he has that down to a fine science. It's almost manipulative. Almost. He starts talking, she calms down, almost like she is being hypnotized. Honey, she want to be hypnotized by that man. Tisha can put her foot down, but hell, where's she gonna put it? Okay? She can put it down, but where's she gonna put it? She gotta ask for permission first. That's why I don't pay these codependents no attention, honey, because they are like toddlers in a grown woman's body, and honey, I can't comprehend, honey. Okay. Another person makes a post and says, oh, did Chris Fletcher just blow Marsau's alibi out the water? One person comments and says, Chris said, nah, no more bro code. He got a wife, and he has to answer to. He has already violated the marriage and probably is still trying to earn his wife's trust back. Now, here come Marsau with his lies. I know that's right, honey. I know. Another person says it has taken Chris a very long time to come with his outrage. Whose relationship is he trying to help? Who is he trying to hurt? The Scotts or the Holtz? Not saying Marsau has clean hands with his sketchy timeline, but just wondering why Chris, the good friend of the Holtz, comes out now. Yeah, I guess, honey. I guess. Another person says, I just want Marsau's side chick to just come on out and burst his arrogant bubble. He thinks he's so clever. Seems like Tisha is waking up. Shit, that bitch sleep. That bitch. And the alarm clock, honey, is not even on. Okay, not even a little bit. Okay, yeah, who y'all fooling? Y'all better stop playing, honey. Stop playing, stop playing. Another person makes a post and says, is it just me or are they slowly edging out the other castmates? New focus is on the comeback group. I'm actually okay with that, LOL. Another person comments to that and says, I hope so. They can add Messy Mel to the elimination. She really works my nerves, just like them Whitlows. Ooh. Another person says, you can keep Stormy and her husband. Everybody else, honey, can go. Yeah, I like Stormy and her husband better than the Whitlows. Because the Whitlows, honey, they ain't trying to open up. They ain't trying to learn nothing. They trying to act like they know every damn thing. And, honey, we ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that. Another person says, I hope they get rid of some of the cast as well. I enjoy the show more when there's no drama. Get rid of Wanda, Destiny, and the Whitlows. Another person says, but I like Destiny, even with her issues. I really hope her and Mel get back to being friends. The rest can go. Stormy can go as well. Ooh, y'all don't like Stormy. I thought y'all wanted to keep Stormy and Courtney. Another person says, I think Stormy and Courtney don't get much film time because technically Stormy is a friend of the show. Yeah, she's not, main castmate? Oh, another person posts to the group. Mel says, I'm hoping over time he'll accept the fact that we're done and he'll finally move on. Martell, watch this. Exactly, because his ass can't let her go. He's a fool. He is a fool, but honey, that's all Miss Robinson got to say about this. Y'all get down in the comments, honey. Let me know what you thought about this here video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am your girl, brand new, and I will check you guys out in the next video.